You understand?
You want me to be your partner? Yeah. That's what you're trying to tell me. You want me to be a partner?
Yeah, what the fuck you think I'm talking about, Paulie? Please, come on.
Maybe I'll try to help you, all right?
God bless you, Paulie. I appreciate it. God bless you. Always been fair with me.
All right.
Now the guy's got Paulie as a partner. Any problems, he goes to Paulie. Trouble with the bill, he can go to Paulie. Trouble with the cops, deliveries, Tommy, he can call Paulie. But now the guy's got to come up with Paulie's money every week, no matter what. Business bad? Fuck you, pay me. Oh, you had a fire? Fuck you, pay me. Place got hit by lightning, huh? Fuck you, pay me.
What if I get one of those TVs?
Nah, I'd be sorry you didn't break any law.
Right.
Also, Paulie could do anything, especially run up bills on the joint's credit. And why not? Nobody's gonna pay for it anyway. And as soon as the deliveries are made in the front door, you move the stuff out the back and sell it at a discount. Doesn't matter, it's all profit. And then finally, when there's nothing left,
Fucking shame.
and you can't borrow another buck from the bank or buy another case of booze, you bust the joint out. You light a match.
Help reaching anything?
You look like you're decorating a Christmas tree, you fucking prick. You don't know what you're doing. From the 5 towns.
Well, who?
Yeah, what the fuck I asked you for, Henry? I'm asking you for a favor. I do a lot of fucking favors for you, don't I? I'm trying to bang this fucking broad. You wanna help me out? It's I don't understand you. What? She's fucking beautiful. Her fucking family, they live in the 5 towns there. You know, these Jew bros got a lot of money. Maybe the family owns the whole fucking block. You'll have to wind up with a big fucking score, you motherfucker. I know fuck. See? You with your fucking mouth. Me, you
Run up the bill on the joint's credit, nobody gonna pay for it. Like what it seems like with all these trillions that they're just coming up with in these budgets. Now, I played that on at least 3 occasions over these last 4 or 5 years since Trump. And I see Trump as being like Paulie. And I used that to describe what Trump was going to do. And here we are. Bring him in, squeeze the place dry, then burn it down to collect the insurance money. And I knew that because of how he does his businesses. Bankruptcy, I think he filed for that, like 5 times. Right? And I've been playing that Goodfellas clip for about 4 or 5 years. And of course, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were going to let a bug out on everybody. But I knew what he was going to do: push us right to the edge of the bottomless pit. But young Pharaoh, we remember his super adamant support for Donald Trump. In the clip I'm going to play for you, I didn't just see it today. I saw this about 2 weeks ago when he uploaded it. I'm subscribed to his channel, but I bring it up today because of something Recognized Game said today. That's what I saw earlier this morning, right? I would have talked about it as soon as I heard him say it, but you know, Google suppresses everything, so it's a bit difficult to find dirt these days. But what he said, what Recognized Game said, reminded me of a few things. Pharaoh second, but the first thing it reminded me of was the video I did about Jared Kushner and him and Trump's connection to the bug and the cure. In that video, I guess the video that inspired that will be in the description box. And that video sent me on, I guess I'll call it a treasure hunt. And what Recognized Game said was that, and I don't use these words, I substitute those with the bug and the cure. But Recognized Game said that Kushner and Trump developed the bug tracker.
Faith in our leaders. We're optimistic as to what becomes of it all. It really boils down to our ability to accept. We don't need pessimism. Our ideal of vision.
Excuse me.
Just survive.
You know, you look like your head fell on the cheese dip back in 1957. You're okay. This one, real fucking ugly. Oh. You see, I take these glasses off, she looks like a regular person, doesn't she, huh? Put them back on, formaldehyde face. That's what we got.
That's enough out of you. You get out or I call the cops.
Call the cops? You know what you need? You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
I've got one that can see.
He's a tall, Caucasian male. Doesn't appear armed, wearing sunglasses.
I don't like this one bit. Not one bit.
That's essentially what the bug tracker is, where people are going to be able to tell on other people for non-compliance. And I don't know if it'll be on watches, but it's most definitely on our cell phones. And brought to us by the Patriots. Right, you know, that's what Trump supporters call Trump and themselves. The Patriots. They're here for us. And as far as playing a clip for you to show you what I'm talking about with Kushner, can't do it. The best I can do is put a link to an article, and from there you could maybe decide to go on down the rabbit hole, because that's what happened to me. That's the best I feel like doing, because like I said, Google won't let stuff just be found all willy-nilly no more. So this article led to this, and that one led to that one, and on and on and on down the rabbit hole. So I'll just put one in the description box. But when I did the video about Kushner, sometimes I rush through things. I don't rush. When I say I rush, I don't mean rush as in, as soon as I see something, I rush to my computer and start recording. No, I mean rush like sometimes to get through what I'm doing. And a lot of times I don't do all I can do. I'll just quit and then decide that, I said enough already. But that video, I left out a part about a place called Qatar, another place in the Middle East, and Jared and Trump are connected to this place. And Qatar is connected to Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan. And Jared and Trump got big money invested over there. You'll hear this dude say Qatar, but he means Qatar.
It helps to be good at the grift. His larger-than-life TV character, just like Trump's business empire, was built up with smoke and mirrors and, frankly, a lot of bald-faced lies. Trump managed to keep the grift going, turning his character of TV businessman into TV political candidate. When he won the White House, Trump pretended to divorce himself from his family business, with his son Eric taking over the day-to-day. But the evidence is clear. During the 4 long, weird, dark, inexplicable years of Donald Trump's presidency, his business grift was merely relocated from a gaudy high-rise on Fifth Avenue to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And we are still learning about who gave Trump money when he was president. And this accounting of who is paying Donald Trump and his family is even more important now, since he's currently the frontrunner for the Republican nomination for president in 2024. Joining us now, David K. Johnston, Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter who's done extensive reporting on Trump's finances. His new book is called The Big Cheat: How Donald Trump Fleeced America and Enriched Himself and His Family. David, the aid was designed to prevent job losses during the pandemic. Trump International still cut several jobs, right?
Right. Yes, they did. And the receipt of that money is, I think, a very clear violation of the Foreign Emoluments Clause, which says you can't get any money, gift, etc., unless Congress explicitly gives you permission to do so. And Congress clearly never did that.
Let's move to the shadiness in Trump's new media venture. That's almost redundant. He's partnering with a Chinese firm that's been investigated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Is that normal?
The investigation of something like that's perfectly normal, but having a former and would-be president of the future engage in this kind of behavior, no. And it's consistent with how the Chinese, the Russians, the Saudis, and others have played Donald Trump like a $2 ukulele.
All right, in the 90 seconds we have left, I want you to, I don't know if we have time to play this Ben Rhodes sound of something that he told Lawrence earlier this month about Jared Kushner's business dealings with Saudi Arabia over what could be a sizable investment in Jared's new firm. But how concerned should we be looking to 2024 about Trump in Saudi Arabia?
That should be the biggest concern of the things we've talked about, because Jared Kushner, while in the White House, attacked Qatar, where we have our most important military base in the Middle East, and got Donald Trump to line up the Saudis and the Emiratis against their hostile enemy, Qatar, undermining national security. And that's the important issue here. The Trump family has no problem undermining the national security interests of the United States if there's money in it for them.
Not by happenstance that Trump let hundreds of Taliban members out of prison. Then Joe comes along to finish the job with that obvious lighting of the fuse he did by withdrawing those troops from over there. But Trump is the patriot, is what people tell us.
Peace, family. This video right here is about why is Donald Trump promoting vaccines. So I did a lecture in 2016 in Compton, California. If you go on my university, iuniversity.com, you go to this presentation entitled Secrets of the Occult. Trump is supposed to be the Trump card, or the Joker card, or the card that tricks people. So I want to see if I was right those many years ago. Because I want to know, why is Donald Trump supporting the vaccine? Does he not know? Or is he the Trump card? Looking like we need to know the answer to that. Two sides of the both coin? Who knows? Two sides of the same coin? Who knows? All I want to know is, why is Donald Trump promoting that vaccine, though?
You don't know. The guy who the rest of us know to know the origins of mankind, aliens, you know them by name, you know about DNA and melanin, and you've decoded all the constellations in the universe, but you don't know why Trump is pushing the cure. You don't know how we got Joe Biden. I've done a few videos talking about how we got Joe. And you just heard one of the reasons why right there. Pretentious ignorance. Pretending not to know about how Trump funded the gain of functions research program that paved the way for the bug to get out, or paved the way for it to get let out.
To define democracy. In schools, we've heard a popular description. Democracy is a government of, for, and by the people. Of the people, for the people, by the people. Do you know who said that? Former US President Abraham Lincoln. Those were different times, though. Today, US presidents are accused of war crimes. They deal in conspiracy theories. Today's America is not a guardian of democracy. It's a self-appointed class monitor that has lost its way. America's rise in world politics was not pretty. Wars, interventions, all kinds of illegal operations. America's fall could be even uglier. A Canadian political scientist paints a worrisome picture. Here's what he says. By 2025, American democracy will collapse. There will be civil disobedience, political instability, and by 2030, a dictator will take over, a right-wing authoritarian. That's what the political scientist predicts. And who will that dictator be? Most likely Donald Trump. That's according to this report. He will return to the White House in 2024, and then he will systematically dismantle American democracies. I know it sounds far-fetched. Surely American democracy is stronger than this. Too strong to collapse, perhaps. But let me ask you a few questions. Did you think Donald Trump would win in 2016? Did you think his supporters would attack the US Capitol in 2021? The fact is, anything goes. American democracy has been teetering for a while now. So a complete collapse cannot be ruled out. Most surveys support this. Polarizing elements are creeping into the American mainstream. White nationalists are hijacking politics. We saw what happened in January last year. Hundreds of protesters breaching the US Congress. If that was in West Asia or Latin America, what would Washington have done? Probably sent the CIA and a few thousand Marines. For what? To quote-unquote restore democracy. Well, who will restore democracy in Washington, D.C.? Or can the Americans do no wrong? This has been the attitude for decades. Democracy is what America says it is. That was the attitude. We have so many examples of this American arrogance. Just look at Latin America. One report says the U.S. tried to topple regimes 41 times in the 20th century. 41 times.
The pretentious ignorance. Will Trump be back in 2024 to push us all the way into the pit? Or will Biden do that just so Trump can come in 2024, pull us out of it, only to throw us in an even deeper, darker, hotter place in the pit?